Welcome back to the Crypto Market Updates channel. Today is the 1st of December and it's also a Friday, so that's a good day. Christmas is upon us and the weekend is here as well. And since it's Friday, I thought to myself it might be a good day for a crypto roundup. It feels like a crypto roundup kind of day. Heading off with a brand spanking new wow moment from Elon Musk. This just happened, I think, yesterday, but this has been making rounds on Twitter. If you haven't been following Twitter, I'm sure you have. But for those who haven't, Elon Musk basically told the CEO of Disney Plus, Bob Iger, to go F himself. And that was based on, I guess, the premonition that Disney has tried to blackmail Elon Musk. What the circumstances were and in what way that was done, we don't know. But Elon Musk basically said that he was being blackmailed in one way or another by Disney and his advertisers on X, and he told them to go shove their money up their culos and not to worry about having to advertise with the company. So there was a bunch of news circulating around the internet saying that big companies are taking their cash out of Twitter or out of X and are no longer interested in advertising with them, which means that Twitter is going to be losing somewhere in the vicinity of 75 million US dollars in advertising revenue, which is massive, right? Nothing to scoff at. But the response, Elon Musk's response to that was to basically tell them to go F themselves. And this is, I guess he's not, he's not afraid of losing advertisement money. This is what people call FU money, I guess, in the industry. But so that's a story that's been making a circulation, making the rounds lately. Brand exodus from X expected after Elon Musk's verbal attack. So now, due to that, I guess a lot of companies are expected to leave X or leave the advertising space, which may be difficult for Musk's venture of X. But I guess we'll see what's going to happen with that. So that's number one. The second bit of news that's been making the rounds is some ridiculous claim on Bitcoin going from boiling the oceans to draining them, according to critics. Apparently some dingus released an article claiming that Bitcoin now uses too much water and that it's endangering our water supply. So De Vries yesterday published a research paper with his findings, arguing that a combination of minor cooling system and the water consumption for minor energy sources are behind the massive usage. So they're claiming that there's a massive usage of water. This is the paper. I haven't read it, but they're quoting something of 1.572 gigaliters of water in 2021 was used for the cooling of Bitcoin, and now they're trying to scare people into believing that Bitcoin is leaving a water footprint. And so this again just shows the length that the status quo, that the establishment will go to discredit Bitcoin. And I'm sure that's, it's gonna leave a permanent mark on certain groups of people who are not very clued into what's been going on around the world. I mean, water has been used and abused for years now by factories, by governments, by mainly factories. Not to mention things like, tar sands that used gallons and gallons of water. That was on the news for a while, and I guess that kind of disappeared because, who cares, right? But now Bitcoin is under attack for using some water to cool. And the thing is, even if it does use water to cool, that water is run through pipes, cool, and then returned back into lakes, warmed up, which it then cools off anyway eventually. There is no pollution being dumped into the waters. There is no chemicals that are being dumped into this water. So if you want to point fingers at water, destruction of water, or the endangering of environments due to water pollution or water consumption, point your fingers at factors and stuff. Like, this is just FUD. So, but that's apparently what's making news now. I'm glad, like Daniel Bennett here, why the BBC News article on Bitcoin and water is a monument to journalistic laziness, speaks out their mind. I think it's bogus. That's silly. But anyway, this is what's making the rounds right now. Goofy articles that claim that Bitcoin now is polluting or is causing excessive water disruption around the globe. Not to mention that 71% of the Earth's surface is made of water. Granted, only 3% of that is fresh water. 97% of Earth's water is found in the oceans, which is too salty. But I mean, there is desalination, and we've been using a lot of other water, that is being abused. I mean, think about the amount of showers that we take every day, or baths that people use. I think that the water used for cooling Bitcoin mining facilities is probably manageable, considering that it's not polluted by soap or other artificial substances, right? Doge founder slams DAOs are universally stupid and doomed. So apparently the founder of Doge is now gearing up to discredit the idea of DAOs. He's saying DAOs are almost universally stupid and doomed because crypto communities are often exclusively interested in short-term profits. The hype is worth more than actual deliveries, and nobody has any incentive to build anything. And it sounds like he's just jaded, probably got out of some kind of DAO that maybe screwed him over or didn't do what he hoped to do, or maybe wasn't listening to him when he was saying, let's do this. And so he sounds jaded. I mean, the idea behind DAOs is decentralized autonomous organizations, is for a bunch of people to get together and decide on a common cause and either invest into it or spend time working on it, delivering hours of programming on projects and so on. I guess the most prominent DAO that existed was the one where people pulled some, I don't know how much money it was, but there was several, I guess, $1 million in order to purchase the existing copy of the American Constitution, which they didn't succeed in doing because they got outbid by another party. But the fact that these people did get together and pull their funds in order to do that within a DAO shows that DAOs work. And yeah, DAOs might not work for everything. They might not be good for every aspect of life and every aspect of the industry, but certainly they do have a place in the cryptocurrency world and otherwise. And I think a lot of companies could implement DAOs in order to make changes to their company structures or for whatever other reason. So I don't think that DAOs need to be dismissed. Again, I think he's just jaded over something that happened to him personally, and now articles are written for him. Ooh, Crimea River. More important things are on the horizon. Bitcoin ETF, don't forget, January 10th is the deadline on which the approval or rejection of the Bitcoin ETFs is to be passed. The landscape of Bitcoin exchange traded funds is currently dominated by approvals for funds linked to Bitcoin futures contracts by the US Securities and Exchange Commission. SEC Chairman Gensler indicated that various ETF applications are under consideration by the Commission's 5-member panel, with no specific timeline provided. Leading the queue is Cathie Wood's ARK Invest, whose 240-day SEC comment period concludes on January 10th, requiring regulatory approval or rejection by that date. Noteworthy financial institutions such as BlackRock, Bitwise, WisdomTree, Fidelity, and Invesco also await decisions on their pending ETF applications, The anticipation for spot ETFs heightened following the SEC's decision not to appeal a court ruling acknowledging its error in rejecting Grayscale Investments' application to convert its Bitcoin trust into a spot Bitcoin ETF. The court has directed the SEC to reevaluate his decision, further shaping the evolving landscape of Bitcoin ETFs. So this is important, yeah? A US court has ruled that the SEC decision to reject Grayscale's spot ETF was wrong, and the SEC has decided not to appeal, which means that decision stands. And it looks like the SEC is running out of time, and so the last deadline is January 10th. And I guess you could speculate the reasons for why that is. Just recently, a couple of weeks ago, maybe 1 week ago, when Binance was going under, and you may have heard about Binance, of course, CZ stepping down as the CEO of Binance USA, or of Binance altogether, CZ stepping down as the CEO of Binance altogether. Altcoin Daily published an interesting video in which he basically describes the possibility that BlackRock was the one behind CZ's exit from the company. Of course, after CZ stepped down, the BNB token or coin plummeted a little bit retraced a little bit, and of course, Binance is, on shaky ground, I guess, despite the fact that the new CEO is supposed to be educated and knowledgeable and have all the, things in place that are required for to run a successful crypto company, I guess, or financial company. CZ was kind of an iconic figure, and I think, a lot of people followed him in Binance due to his personality and his charisma and just, who he was and what he represented. Now that he's gone, obviously, Binance kind of lost a big chunk of itself and a big chunk of the industry. And what's going to happen in the upcoming months when it comes to Binance, we're not sure. I mean, it's not going to disappear, it's not going to go under, but will it have the same impact on cryptocurrencies, on the crypto industry, as it has in the past with CZ at the head, at the helm of it? We're not sure. But anyway, so Daily Crypto, or Altcoin Daily, published an article or video saying that BlackRock took down Binance, and the premise behind that was that in order for the ETF, the Bitcoin ETF, to be passed, BlackRock needed to get rid of, or Binance needed to be gotten rid of, because there was no way that BlackRock and I guess its subsidiary or friend in arms, Coinbase, would be sharing the profits of those ETFs with Binance. Because clearly Binance was the largest cryptocurrency exchange in the world, and so a lot of US investors, American investors, were holding their crypto on Binance. And so with Binance present in the USA, that would mean that if ETFs were passed, Binance would also begin to reap benefits from that by, investors purchasing Binance Bitcoin through Binance and whatever else was happening. So the idea behind Altcoin Daily's suggestion was that BlackRock colluded or cooperated or whatever did with SEC in order to get rid of Binance, and thus, scoop up the potential earnings and income from the spot ETFs, Bitcoin spot ETFs that are coming our way to themselves. It's an interesting theory. I could totally see that happening. So that's another reason for why it's very highly likely that the spot ETF will be granted on January 10th, and it will open the floodgates towards the Bitcoin halving that will follow up in the first quarter of 2024, and of course the massive bull run that's supposed to happen. Just to make you aware, Gareth Soloway also released a video on Twitter, which is kind of interesting and pertinent to this discussion here. Gareth Soloway talked about cycles, and he was referring to the different cycles in everything, nature and life, which is, the same thing, but you've got the cycles of the year, months, days, there's the Bitcoin cycle, I guess. There's the 100-year cycle of, there was Spanish flu, then there was COVID. And he was referring to the cycles of financial depression, of economic collapses. So last one was the Great Depression in the 1930s, and he was pointing towards the 2029, which could, see a massive economic collapse. And that's something that Ray Dalio also discusses in his book. So that's something to keep in mind. The next bull run is supposed to take place, the next Bitcoin halving is supposed to take place sometimes in 2029, 2030, I believe. So this bull run right now is probably the one that everybody's talking about the most, because it may be the last one during which people may be able to accumulate some wealth before the crash that could happen in 2029. And of course, this is all speculation, but history rhymes, it doesn't repeat itself. But yes, things do go in cycles, and obviously the economy is not very stable. It's a fake system. It's a bubble that's going to burst eventually, because the amount of debt and money printing that's been going on, it can't go on forever. So eventually all of this is going to collapse and retract in order to kind of rejuvenate, right? There is a balance in the universe. So I guess the idea is to accumulate now in this bull run, because in the next bull run, who knows what's going to happen. If nothing happens, like the 2000 scare, the end of the world, then you're good. But if something did happen and you prepared, then you're safe. But I'm sure we're going to hear a lot more, in 2028 and 2029. Coming up to that, a lot more news will come out in regards to economic collapses. We'll know when it starts happening. A bit of drama going on between Charles Hoskinson, the founder of ADA, Cardano, and the XRP community. Apparently, Charles Hoskinson's called the XRP community conspiratorial. And you should not be a part of the XRP community anyway, because the XRP is a scam coin. It's not a scam coin, it's a shit coin. It's the one that is going to open the floodgates for all CBDCs. It seems like XRP Ledger is partnering up with a bunch of banks, and they're developing their CBDCs on XRP Ledger. So if CBDCs are coming, many of them will be run, if not all, on XRP Ledger. So not a good thing. CBDCs, not great. XRP, not great. Stay away from that crap. And then finally, an article released by Finball, top 5 altcoins about to explode in the market. Of course, it's the same usual suspect: Solana, Ethereum, Dogecoin, really? Okay, Chainlink, and Cardano. We're rooting for Cardano, and I would suggest you don't forget Meowcoin. Meowcoin's been on a tear over the past 90 days. It went, basically was sitting at 0.0001314 over the entire month of November, and then it just woke up towards mid-November on the 19th, exploded to, what is it? I don't know, it exploded to like something higher above that, and it's been on a tear since. There you go. Exploded to 0.038, and it's been on a tear since. Right now it's sitting comfortably at 0.00045, and it doesn't seem like it's going to be budging anytime soon. It went up as high as 0.005, yeah, the market cap shot up by $1 million. It stood at about, in November, it stood at about 500,000 or so, and then within a matter of a couple of weeks, the market cap went up by $1 million. And the trading volume kind of remains the same. It's 15,000. So a lot of people are buying and hodling. I know for a fact that miners like myself, I'm mining Meowcoin, and I'm not selling anything. If anything else, I try to accumulate as much as I can on exchanges, and that seems to be the same case with most people. There's some trading going on, but obviously not a lot. For the majority of the part, it's just accumulation. In terms of positioning, Meowcoin was below the 2000 just, I guess, around this time, and since its market cap pumped, its ranking went up. Meowcoin has a max supply of 21 billion. Only 3 billion are presently in circulation. These are coins that have been mined so far. There was no pre-mining done, so it's a fair mined coin. It's 100% ASICs resistant. It's only GPU mineable, and the team is not planning on making it accessible to ASIC miners, which means this is going to be a GPU miner coin. Not only that, it has utility. You know, some people may be scoffing at it, saying, oh, it's a shitcoin because it has charity. It donates. The goal behind mining is that people mine, and portion of the mining rewards from each block goes to the team, which uses these rewards to send them to animal shelters and different charities. I made a video about that. Meowcoin partnered up with Rhubarb Media, who are now helping out Meowcoin get on track to success. And Rhubarb Media is the same company that helped bring Caspa to its $3 billion valuation, which is nice to see. And, you know, I'm not claiming that Meowcoin is going to go to a $3 billion valuation, but even if we manage to get to a fraction of that, I think Meowcoin would be in a very good position. In any case, these are some of the shelters to which Meowcoin has been donating so far. Also, there's a lot of other stuff that's happening on Meowcoin. I mean, it's still a pretty young project, and the founders are not in a rush. Like, their goal is to develop a good, solid community of people supporting the coin, and they're working on a project that, you know, has longevity. It's not supposed to be there. The aim isn't for it to be a dumb pump and dump project. And despite the name, a lot of people see the name and, oh, it's a cat coin, so it's a shit coin. And so there seems to be a lot of this offhanded kind of approach to many things in crypto, because people have been burnt in the past. I myself have been burnt in the past, so everybody's cautious. So whenever they see a name like that, they just dismiss it, because, you know, they go for the Caspas and everything else that's like on the table right now. So, but this is something that you might want to consider putting into your portfolio. It's definitely been doing good, and I know for a fact that the community is solid, the founders are solid, the devs are doing their work, and it has massive potential, simply based around the people that are working on the project. People are important. So that's it for this update. This was a bit longer than I expected, yo. In any case, make sure to smash up the likes on this video, subscribe to the channel. My throat's hurting, I'm gonna drink some water. And I will see you in the next video. Hopefully sometime over the weekend. I might have some time to, might have some time to make some more videos. But if not, I will see you on Monday bright and early on another episode of the Crypto Market Updates channel. Have a good weekend. Crypto Father out.